All right. Hey guys, I am back with Thursday's video. I hope that you had no trouble answering the questions that you had today. I did want to remind you and let you know that I will be going through and giving feedback on your class kicks. So if you go back to your class kick and you might see a sticker that says try again, and you might see a sticker that says super job. If you have a super job, you don't need to worry about anything else. I also might talk to you on it with an audio recording, and I might write you a note just to tell you to finish or do something a little bit different or what you need to work on. So please go back to those assignments and see how you're doing. Okay, so today we're going to do our second page of questions. I also want you to note that this is exactly what your test is going to be like on Friday. So it's going to be the exact same format. It's just going to be a different passage. So you really need to pay attention in these videos, and you really need to do your best, because if I see that you're struggling, I can help you. Okay, so number 4, we're going to get our green. So here we go. We got a green highlighter. And we're going to the graph on page 2. What is it showing on page 2? So go to page 2, this graph. Now, remember, at the top of a graph, you're going to have a title, and that's going to tell you exactly what this graph is showing. So this graph is showing the percentage of moon showing on the cycle day. So the percentage of the moon showing on cycle days. So it's not just going to tell you that, but we know that's what it's talking about. So the first one, A, says 100% of the moon is showing on cycle days 13 through 15. So we need to go to cycles day 13 through 15. Is 100% of the moon showing on those days? 13, 14, 15. So we're pretty close. So we're going to go ahead, just because this 13 isn't all the way there, but it's close. We're going to go to our question, and we're going to put a star beside that one, because it was possible. But I'm going to go and see if there's a better answer. A full moon is when 100% of the moon is showing. A full moon is when 100% of the moon is showing. We do know that from different things, but based on this graph, it doesn't give us any pictures of full moons, and it doesn't show us. It just talks about cycle days, how much percentage of the moon is showing. So that is not the correct answer. While it may be correct, the graph that we're told to look at is not showing that. A new moon is when none of the moon is showing. It's not showing that, because the graph talks about percentages. During a full moon, the moon is on the opposite side of the earth from the sun. We cannot get that from that graph. We get it from pictures, but not the graph, which is what we're looking at. So our correct answer, go back to your highlighter, is A. 100% of the moon is showing on cycle days 13 through 15. Number 5, which statement from the passage supports the information in the graph? Choose all that apply. Remember that choose all that apply means that there can be more than one answer. So the graph we just looked at is the percentages of the moon showing. So our first one says, after a full moon, we can see less of the moon. So after a full moon, we can see less of the moon. Okay, a full moon would be 100%, but it doesn't say anything about a full moon, so I'm going to mark that out. This results in the visible sunlit portion of the moon varying from 0% to 100%. I am going to go ahead and highlight that, because I know that this graph is showing the percentage of the moon. So this says, this results in the visible sunlit portion of the moon varying from 0 to 100. You see in that graph, it goes from 0 to 100. So that is a correct answer. The main 4 moon phases are a new moon, first quarter, full moon, and third quarter. This graph doesn't say anything about that. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to X that one out, because I know it's not right. And then D, each moon phase happens at a somewhat different time depending on where it is observed from on Earth. That does not have anything to do with those percentages. So even though it says choose all that apply, you only had one answer, but you need to make sure you're looking to make sure that you only have one answer. If you have more than one, it could be right. Now, number 6, purple. Describe one fact you learned from the diagrams, timeline, and graph that was not in the passage. So one fact learned from diagrams. I need my purple highlighter. One fact learned from the diagrams. So let's go to the diagram. Here's a diagram. Okay, I'm going to remember back to my second question yesterday. Remember that this right here says the main 4 moon phases are these, but this graph shows me, or this, this diagram shows me that there are 8. So I'm going to go back. I highlighted it in purple. I'm going to go back. I'm going to use my text tool. One fact that I learned from the diagrams. I learned that there are 8 moon phases. And that's it. That's all you need to put. One fact learned from the timeline. Here is your timeline. So one fact, I'm going to get my purple back, and I'm going to put that the moon after a full moon is the waning gibbous. The moon after the full moon is the waning gibbous. And I know that because of this timeline, not because of what I read. And then one fact you learned from the graph. I learned from the graph that on cycle day 14, 100% of the moon is showing. So on cycle day 14, 100% of the moon is showing. Now I'm going to go back and make sure that I highlighted that. I'm going to take my highlighter and I'm going to do day 14, 100%. That's all I need. As long as you show me where you found it, that highlighting will be great. So there you have it. That's how you answer those last questions. Please be sure to answer them correctly, because remember, your test is going to be on this, and this is what you'll be graded on. Please, please, please let me know if you have any questions. I'm always here for you.